Yo, welcome to my channel, Wardrawsalot. Obviously I'm Ward, or I wouldn't have named it Wardrawsalot. Honestly, I don't know how to transition this, so I'm just gonna start talking. Every week I think, what am I gonna draw for this video today? And then I sit there, and I'm like, yo bro, I'm thinking way too hard about this. And then I'm like, no you're not thinking enough about this. And that's when a voice in the back of my head started talking. It was the Word of Wisdom, and she was like, yo, shut your mouth and draw a soul. And I was like, yo, Word of Wisdom spitting right now. So that's exactly what I did. Alright, so boom. What I did at first was I took the sketchbook that I got recently from two friends, and I decided to use it for thumbnailing instead of using my book, my marker pad, my Ohuhu sketchbook. I said like 3 different things there for thumbnailing because it's just better to separate them. I personally feel like a marker pad should be used for the markers, and then a sketchbook should be used for the sketching. So after that, and after I was confident enough with the pose that I wanted to do for a soul, I went ahead and transferred that idea onto the Ohuhu sketchbook. Now this time, I really made it my mission. Like, I'm talking about, I sat down and had a talk with myself, and I was like, yo, I gotta fit the whole body this time into this piece of paper. And I was like, nah, I can't do it. And I was like, nah, shut up. We gonna do it this time. So I was able to get Soul's whole body this time into the piece of paper, and that's extremely hard for me to do, but I succeeded, I feel like. I did mess up his proportion a little bit, or a lot, you know, whatever you want to look at it as. His arm is a little too long, but I kind of didn't realize that when I was drawing, so I'm gonna it's alright. I just really wanted to draw Soul, if I'm just gonna be honest. I wasn't being too critical. Sometimes you just want to draw the thing that you want to draw, and you don't want to sit there and be too self-critical or whatever. Just have fun, I guess. There are times where I sit down and I study and I have to be critical on myself, on myself, so I can learn better. And there's some times where I just want to do a cool and different design on a character that I like, aka fan art. So this particular design, I don't believe Soul has, and I'm almost positive he doesn't, because I put him in what I would wear, because, you know, the one thing me and Soul have in common is we both dress like 14-year-old boys. But besides that factor, I think it looked good on him. The idea of a jean jacket top with like the sweater sleeves and then the jean bottoms with a matching shirt and shoes, I feel like was nice and cohesive together. This time for the lining, instead of using my usual size, which is 0.3 and 0.5, I scaled down a little smaller. I went to 0.1 and 0.3 because the drawing on the left was so much smaller. I had to accommodate to it, because if I used a liner that was too big, it would look really clunky and just overall out of whack. So that's why I scaled down a little bit. I also like what I've been doing recently, which I don't think I would do before, but I would go in with the smaller liner inside the outline of the body, but on the outside outline, I would use a bigger liner to help it stand out a little more. I don't know when I started doing that, but I realized I was doing it more often, and I kind of like the effect it gives the characters. I think it looks pretty cool, or almost makes them look like a sticker, kind of, to a degree. So there's that. Okay, now I get to talk about my favorite part of the process, which is coloring. I tried to stay as true as possible to the colors that they gave him within the anime. So the gray hair, the medium to light skin tone. I'm gonna call it more of a medium though. I think he's definitely a medium skin tone. Well, fuck. Okay, light to medium. Like, I really don't know what else to call it. And I tried to make sure I keep that. The gray hair, the red eyes. The rest of the outfit, however, because it is an outfit that he has never worn before, at least I think so, and I'm positive of it, I had to make up my own colors as I went for that. I've recently been liking this technique that I've been seeing a lot of people use. What I usually do to shade the skin tone, right, is I'll take the colors, the next few colors down the line, and I'll use those to shade it, but sometimes it doesn't look enough like a shade. It looks like it's just, how do I describe it? Okay. So it's just kind of putting a lighter, no, one more time. Okay. It's like taking the lightest color and then just putting the next darkest part of that color on top of it. Stay with me. That's what I do, right? But instead, I've been seeing people use like this purple-ish color, a light to medium purple, to take those tones and then make a shading part on top, so it looks like it's darker and pushed farther back, which honestly does look nice. And I've seen other people use it a good amount, but I've never used it because I don't know how to use it, but now I want to start using it. So that's exactly what I did here, and I think that it came out pretty successful with him. There wasn't too much to shade here with that purple, but I feel like the part that I used it the most successfully on was partly like on the right, his neck. There's like under his chin is a darker purple shadow, and I feel like that really helped push that back a little bit and gave it some 3D effect. So I'm gonna try and see if I could use that more. So I did color this definitely more in my style, instead of in the style of like how the anime does it, which is cell shading, because I just wanted to do that. I felt like it's less restrictive that way. Cell shading, again, super cool. I really like it. Some people do that super clean, but I just like blending and using a bunch of different colors for stuff. So you could definitely see that like in some areas like the shirt, or the way I do the hair is I layer it a certain way until it looks darker in some areas, lighter in others, and it gives it more of a 3D effect or depth. And you could definitely see that with places like folds of fabric. So like the pants bunch up really hard at the bottom, because a lot of the time the characters wear clothing that do that. That's just how the style of Okubo, he does it with these characters in specific. He bunches up their clothes, kind of make it look like a stylish kind of thing going on. And plus, if we can remember the early 2000s fashion, which I know none of y'all want to remember, because I know I don't want to remember, that's how the pants was, is that everyone was wearing pant sizes like 5 times too long for themselves. So I think that was also applied here during those times. And I feel like the shading really helped push that the pants were way too big on him, and that his sleeves were way too long. So I think that that's something that cell shading can only do so much of, because it's not giving an effect of 3D. It just looks like it is shaded in a certain area just to look a little nicer than flat color. So there's that factor. Afterwards, I added the white highlights, which I always think adds such a great dimension to the character because it makes them look alive. And I also did the little Soul Eater like symbol, which I feel like is always a cool little symbol. I've always liked drawing it even when I was younger. And then I filled a bunch of little souls around Soul, because, you know, he's a weapon, and his whole point is to eat souls so he could become the ultimate weapon for death, basically, in the show. So there's that. But I think that added a nice little dynamic in the background and kind of brought it to life instead of it just being blank white paper. So I want to try and incorporate that more. And I did that with the last drawing too, and I think that looked nice as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, and remember, I love you. Goodbye.